again, whenever we look at paper 2, just have a wee look at the language and how the marks are allocated. So, look at this first one. Just It's worth a wee mention of question 1. Look, question A. This is in 2 parts. So this is really, in some ways, just one question. It's talking about the same thing. So, first one, show that. So they've given you the answer. You still need to set this out as a 3-mark question, but you're only getting 2 marks because they've already given you the answer. Remember, start with the formula, end with a number with units. Determine. Now, determine is a little bit different again. Still kind of like your 3-mark question, you're still formula substitution answer kind of idea, but the formula won't be from the formula sheet. This is a determine. You have to try and work something out for yourself. So, in this case, I suspect we're needing the area under a graph. Okay. Determine, so this is something to think about for ourselves again. Changing momentum of the ball during the bounce. We're on to something new. This is question B, but again in 2 parts. So these two will be strongly related together. So another determine, average force, 3 marks, just be a straight calculation, but I'm not expecting necessarily to get a formula from the formula sheet. Complete a diagram. So look to the number of marks. In this case it's 2 marks, so they're looking for a couple of things. You're converting, in this case, a velocity graph to acceleration graph. So my guess is, I've not looked at the question in detail, but there's 2 marks, so I reckon there'll be 2 different accelerations to consider. Right, calculate. This is calculate, 3 marks, formula substitution answer, and I'm expecting to find the formula in the formula sheet because of that use of the word calculate. Part B, determine. So this one is not likely to be in the formula sheet. You're going to have to do some thinking for yourself. Tension in a rope. What's the story? Rope's at an angle, so that's going to be some SOHCAHTOA type thing to do. So next one, state. So for a state question, this is something you should just be able just to roll off. It's just a statement of a fact, but you have to justify your answer. So this is 2 marks. So the way I think about this is, tell me something with a because. 1 mark for each, so only 1 because needed. Using your knowledge of physics, I think we'll do a separate video on them. Right, determine again, look, so something to work out for yourself. This time it's only 1 mark. So wee quick thing, what's going on? You've got a radius of the earth, you've got a height above the earth, so the height's just those 2 added together. Wee simple calculation. Calculate from the formula sheet, 3 marks, straight calculation. Determine again, work out for yourself. Okay, look at this one. State, 1 mark. Justify your answer. But look, this one's worth 3 marks, so I'm needing 2 becauses. Yeah? State, 1 mark. Calculate, 3 marks. Right, this one's a wee bit different. Look, this time they've given you a formula, so you're only getting your 2 marks this time because they've given you the formula. So your marks are for the substitution and your answer with unit. A graph. So you've been asked to draw a graph. I'm not reading the question in detail, but look, 2 marks again, which means there's 2 things. It doesn't necessarily mean there's 2 things different about the graph, but there's 2 things to consider. 2 things to consider. Right, these ones. These ones, when it says use all the data, what you need to do is look at the way these are going. So these are going up in value while these are coming down in value. So if they are going in opposite directions, I'm going to swap that arrow around, I think. So if these are going in opposite directions, so this one is going up that way and the other one's going up as you go down the table. Don't know if I've made it worse or better, but if they're going in opposite directions, you have to multiply each pair of values and show that it's the same answer each time. If they're going in the same direction, you divide one by the other and show that you're getting the same answer each time. In this case, they've given you a formula, so you could actually rearrange this to say that T lambda equals 2.9 times 10 to the negative 3. So you would multiply each pair of values and show that they always give 2.9 times 10 to the 3. You need to make that last statement to get your third mark. Right. Explain. Okay? Explain is like a definition. Give me a definition. State, tell me what's happening. Determine, again, work out for yourself. Presumably you're working out something, adding together these different values here. Describe. Okay, describe needs a few sentences. And again, look to the marks. I've dropped my pen. Look to the marks. You're looking for 3 points here, really. You're needing 3 points. Right, this one's a little bit different. This is a must justify. Okay, so it's just the same as the justify one. You get a mark for the state, and in this case there's two becauses, but it is really difficult to get the 1 mark. You're either likely to get full marks or 0. You can't really get the state mark on its own. You have to justify your answer. The only way you would get the state mark is if you stated it and justified it and you were almost right with your justification but maybe not quite enough detail or something, you might get the state mark. But it doesn't usually happen. You must justify. Okay, another graph. Add a line and look 2 marks. So there's 2 things to consider. Remember what we said earlier? Doesn't mean that there's 2 things that are different about the graph, but 2 things you have to consider. Okay, suggest is looking at the information that you have and trying to come up with something new. Right, look at this. It's in bold here. You have to use these things that are in bold. Yeah. Explain a couple of sentences.